AEW Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament.
Girl, hi.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. My name is Joey. I'm your dad bod demigod. And as always, my partner in crime is here with me. She is...
the interdimensional Shiro, Moxie Molly, and hello. If you are looking for all of the latest details and opinions of these women's wrestlers looking fierce, we're going to try our hardest. Oh my lord, do we have so many matches to review on this show today.
We're going to jump right into NXT. NXT kicked off with a bang. It was Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley one-on-one for the number one contendership for Io Shirai's NXT Women's Championship. Oh my god, I loved it so much. I thought it was so much fun.
So I will say, halfway through it kind of lost my attention, but not because of the wrestling. It's because it had like the world's longest picture-in-picture with commercials. But really, yeah, I mean, there's not one thing I can point out that seemed like a botch and like it didn't belong. And honestly, this was one of those matches where we say not everything can be pay-per-view. Like, this was almost pay-per-view, but it was just like they held back their tricks just enough where like the whole match was just like so steady and so good, so many good moves. And then I don't know if you saw at the end, Rhea Ripley got a little color.
Yeah, and we're not talking hair color this week, just a little bit of color.
She's void of hair color.
This match was just back and forth, hard hitting. And honestly, I thought they were going to play up the size difference a bit more with Rhea being the towering presence that she is. But no, it was like a standard one-on-one match. And I was like, okay, this is how we're doing it. I'm down for that.
And I liked it because Dakota Kai showed despite her size, she can bring it no matter what size you are. So I really liked that. They were both just so stellar. I have no qualms with it. This was amazing. This got my blood pumping.
At the very end, we got to see storyline continuity that I didn't think was even coming out of this match when Mercedes Martinez of the Robert Stone brand, nice face wash, just took down Rhea Ripley. And I wasn't really sure, but I'm pretty sure the ref saw it.
I mean, commentary said he didn't, but it was kind of like, okay.
But she took out Rhea Ripley and it set her up for that nice, I can't remember exactly what the move was called, but it was just a drop down, Rhea Ripley's face pressed against Dakota Kai's foot, and I was so okay with it.
They had an acronym like KTO or something like that, which once they brought Rhea down, I could see on her chin there was like some sort of scuff. Martinez's shoe probably, did that. But then when, they let Dakota celebrate and then she flips back over, she's got like blood out of her nose and out of her hands and she looked very confused.
She came down hard for that final move. Like it
and I
hit.
feel like one hand was up here when it should have been here catching her.
I'm excited for Dakota Kai. I'm ready for her to face Io Shirai.
Yes.
But this means from this whole storyline, we are getting Rhea Ripley versus Mercedes Martinez. And oh my God, NXT keeps giving me like banger matches each and every week, and they set them up perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we can say. I think there's a reason why WWE has been in business for as long as it has.
Honestly, in the WWE side, they've really been pushing the women's division, which has been a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, I hate that we even have to say the sentence, been pushing the women's division, but it's like they get it. Like they understand how much talent they have. They, for the most part, have writers that can make it work. And I think it's something that's lacking in other national brands.
I agree with that. One final thing before we move on from this match. I'm a little curious as to what Dakota and Io Shirai are going to give us. Because thus far in Dakota's, tenure since she's been a heel, we haven't got to see her with a clean win where she's just really beaten somebody on her own volition. It's been via interference or with Raquel Gonzalez coming in, which I guess is still interference. But I'm wondering how she's going to hold up against Io one-on-one.
And also, before we move on, not only did we see Mercedes Martinez come in with the face wash, after Dakota celebrated, she came in again and kind of obliterated Rhea even more in the ring, roughed her up. Her shirt was awesome. Try me, my mood, 24/7. Yes, can I get one? I was curious to know where Robert Stone was, but I think it's because this wasn't like a huge match or anything, or a match at all. He probably sent her out and managed her to do that.
Well, the next match, honestly, if I saw it on paper, I'd be like, But it was surprising to me. It was Tegan Knox going one-on-one with Indi Hartwell, and it was just a nice little match.
Agreed. And I wanted to say how you said they didn't play up the size difference between Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley. You know what? I didn't realize how large Indi Hartwell is until I saw her like towering over.
She just has mammoth arms. Like, that girl is stacked.
Tegan Knox is not small, and Indi made her look small. And so I was amazed. I don't know how I never realized this before, but yeah, no, I was like, wow. And I really, really loved the very beginning where she was like, do you know me? I beat Shotzi. Like, I don't know.
Your tag team partner.
It was bringing a bit of character that we hadn't been able to see from Indi yet.
Yeah, and that one little line gave the match story, too, because it gave them a reason to want to fight each other. And honestly, you saw it last night. We got tagged in a post by DS where it was like, Tegan Knox was saying, am I basically calling out people who have been calling her boring? I will agree. We've called Tegan Knox boring many a time on this show, but since her match with Io Shirai, she's been on a straight upward trajectory. It's been really impressive and fun to watch.
Yeah, I always say that, like, I wonder if people watch. I don't know if she watches ours, just our show, but I do feel like she was getting a lot of that sort of feedback. So I think there's a lot to say of someone that can take that sort of critical feedback and turn it into something positive, which she is. I think she, was like, hey, maybe they're onto something if there's this many people saying it. And so she kind of changed what she was doing, and I'm here for it. It's still not 100% where I want it to be, but every single week she's leaps and bounds better. Her wrestling was never terrible. This is like the charisma and connecting thing.
She's kind of finding her own, and I'm loving seeing it. She picked up the win here with the Shiniest Wizard. I keep wanting to call it Wizard because of the 101 Dalmatians. That's all that happened on NXT anyway. So it's time to talk about AEW.
Do you want to go to the show first?
Yeah, I want to talk about Dynamite first because that's the flagship show. Regardless of what people want to say, like there's women's matches and stuff on other programming, Dynamite's the flagship show. So you have to talk about Dynamite first.
Show. It's nationally televised. It's the one that's competing with the other national brand.
It's basically the Monday Night Raw of AEW. And this week on AEW Dynamite, the women got 4 minutes. 4 minutes for a promo to introduce that Reba is facing Big Swole and the match. The only redeeming thing I can possibly pull from this little segment is I enjoyed Reba's moonsault.
Yes, I was going to say, oh my God, look at little Reba running up here like her name just got called on The Price is Right. And like showing us that she actually has a little bit of wrestling knowledge, which we knew that, but kayfabe, we were like waiting to see it. What if she says Reba, which I totally didn't think she would. I think Britt is a smarter heel than that. She was going to pick someone that like has a bunch of allure and like, experience, but we got what we got. I'm not happy with it. But the positive I think we can take out of it is Reba never disappoints. And I know
she doesn't.
Kayfabe on Twitter, she was like, I'm just sad I disappointed Britt. But like, she doesn't disappoint. She's a wonderful character. I want to see more of her. I hope they eventually take her seriously and let her like do a real match, because that moonsault, like,
it was pretty. And then JR made me cackle because they were like, oh, she took a bit too long up there. And JR's like, well, she was up there a week.
I know. I'm never upset with JR's commentary. So I think he really helped push this match along as well. Well,
I mean,
in the 4 minutes that there was.
You blink, you miss it. That's the thing. You've got the AEW Women's Champion in the crowd watching this match with no storyline behind her. You just gave Nyla Rose Vicky Guerrero as a manager. You had a whole storyline 2-week build up to her being a manager. And so far, she's done absolutely nothing except be at ringside for the tag team match on YouTube.
Which you actually didn't see her. You only heard her once. You didn't get to see her that much on the side.
What's going on here, guys? Like, do they just not have any faith in the women, or do they just not care that there's an actual portion of the fans of professional wrestling that want to see women's wrestling?
AEW has a lot of strong points, so I'm not going to try to bring it down as a company, but for what they promised us, they are not. They said that they're going to be different than any other national televised brand we ever ever saw. And in our little chat yesterday, we pointed out that they're very similar to like ECW and stuff like that. Like they're not being new or fresh. Someone even tweeted us, WWE's trash is AEW's treasure. And I don't want them to think that we're saying they are trash, because I think we're very happy with who AEW picked up from WWE.
Oh, totally.
Kind of like they're literally using this national platform to try to best WWE. And I'm sorry, sometimes your ratings are higher. You're not gonna best WWE. They've been in business for how long? Like,
definitely, if they're besting WWE, they're not besting them in the women's division.
Oh no,
by far. This is straight up 2002, because Chris Jericho and Eric Bischoff's segment got so much. I
literally only watched the women's stuff.
Yeah, there was an Eric Bischoff, Chris Jericho segment that got so much time, and there was a 5-minute women's match right before the main event. This is WWE Monday Night Raw 2002.
4 minutes for the women, but you could give Sammy Guevara 2 different lengthy spots on the show. Like, come on.
Just really, really disheartening. So I'm going to ask everyone, because if a movement can change one division, maybe it can change the other. Please tweet out, give AEW women a chance, because maybe it'll get some attention and show people that women's wrestling matters in AEW.
Because we don't honestly feel like it does right now.
Well, it doesn't, at least on the main show. But let's go ahead and jump over to YouTube, because this week we got the first round of the Deadly Draw, the Women's World Tag Team Cup Tournament. This was why I liked AEW this week. I enjoyed watching it on YouTube, thought they were really investing some time into the women, and the show opened up with Veda Scott on commentary and Medusa walking out. So like, to set up the matches, we had the little old school like pick your chip type deal. I compared it to the old Royal Rumble thing of spin the balls in the thing and pull out your little cup. I know how it sounds, girl. Oh my God. But we got to see Allie cheat so that the Nightmare Sisters could stay together. She peeked in the bin and took out the same colored chip, which I thought was really nice. And we got to see that Penelope Ford is going to be teaming up with Mel. Then the match happened. This was fun. I enjoyed this match a lot. I thought there was a lot of character work, and I know we've had some debates over this, but I thought this was the best Mel's looked.
Like I said several times, some people are singles competitors and some people are tag team competitors. And though they tried to push her as a singles competitor, she most definitely shines more and is more successful as a tag competitor. Like, that's honest. This match was really good. Evermore, we're seeing Brandy grow. Although I don't think we saw her as much in the ring as we needed to. I think Penelope and Allie really held this together, and like really just like, oh my God, they're just so good. And commentary was talking about how many people, I think commentary said many people didn't realize how good Penelope was when she very first started here at AEW, but she every week is just like bam, 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 and I can't disagree.
You can't. She can't be denied, and I love a competitor like that. Also, wasn't it refreshing to just hear commentary pay attention to a match the entire time on YouTube? Yes. It was great.
I'm digging the vibe we're getting from, for most part, Brandy and Allie, and I'm glad to finally see that come to some sort of fruition.
I had to sit back and think about it. There's only 3 rounds of this tournament.
This tournament, much like most things in the women's division in AEW, just seemed rushed. There's so much indie talent they could have added to this, or even like their own talent they have signed, that to make this an even bigger tournament, longer tournament, and a bigger deal.
I think they could have announced a lot more who was coming into this tournament and hyped it up more, because, well, let's talk about the end of the match. Brandy did a big boot on Mel and got the win.
Mel just did a very massive big boot to Allie.
Right? I thought it was very strange. They got the win, and then at the end of the night, we got to see Brandy start to tease a heel turn, because she was basically, feeling herself. She's like, I'm the only woman with an action figure. I'm an influential superstar. I'm pretty great. And I was like, I dig this.
I think it's hilarious how they tried to use some of their biggest critique, only giving Brandy an action figure, as part of a storyline. Like, we know you do that on purpose.
The next match on the card was Oh my God, I sent the match to you guys on the group chat because I screamed because Nyla Rose and Ariane Andrew are teaming up against Conti, who's making her AEW debut in this tournament with Anna Jay. I did not see that coming. And then the match itself was just so much fun. It was very refreshing to see two people who you already had kind of a connection with hop in the ring together, and it gave me so much life in like the AEW women's division.
My only critique is, unless I'm incorrect, I think that the person who had the most experience in this match, Nyla, she could only do so much to cover up the inexperience of the other ladies. And I think just starting off the match between Ariane and Anna Jay being so new together, kind of threw off the beginning of the match. And
I can't agree with that too.
In a way, it dropped my heart for Ariane because I think it a smidge took away from her fabulosity, because I think that could have been, like, we got a 6.5. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, she could have been like a 16. I don't think this was so much on her. I think it was just the combination of Anna Jay being very new and this being one of Ariane's first matches, being her first match back. I just think that was a weird mishmash at the beginning. Thank the Lord that she put it in a spot to do her one leg drop later in the match, because then we did see it in all of its fabulosity, and I was excited.
I was really disappointed because I don't think that this match showcased everything Ariane can do. I think that it's going to be something that the marks really focus on and kind of bash her with, just because everyone wants to come after anyone who's got the term diva on them really hardcore. And then it didn't really help that her comeback got a bit wonky with Tay, with the head scissors not really connecting, and then the wheelbarrow into the bulldog looked a little bit wonky. But it's two people who haven't really worked each other too much. But it was so nice to see her get in the ring with Nyla, someone who can really base her. When she went for that cross arm breaker reversal and Nyla just held her there with basically one arm, I was like, ooh. Oh my goodness, that was the highlight of the match for me, because I was just like, she just stopped. Like, there wasn't any kind of like struggle to do it either. She was just like, we ain't going. And I love it.
It was so good. At the end of the match, we did see that Ariane got pinned, and that means Conti and Anna Jay are moving on. I do have to say, I'm very excited at the thought of seeing Conti again several times. And no disrespect to Anna Jay, but I just haven't connected with her yet. But I am very sad that we're not going to see Ariane move on, because they made such a big deal of this.
I'm hoping that she gets signed, because as we've seen with our view count and online, she's got the clout to bring to the AEW women's division. But I will disagree with you on Anna Jay. I was really impressed with her in this match. Like, this was most...
No disrespect, she wasn't bad. I just haven't, like, connected. Like, it's not like, I must see Anna Jay. The way I was like, I can't wait to see Conti. You know what I mean? Like,
I did enjoy seeing the entire Dark Order come out with her, though. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool. And I the promo at the end, I mean, they gave them like probably 30 seconds, but how she was just like, when the commentator, I don't know who it is, he was a new face, said, what about you in the Dark Order? She's like, let's not talk about that right now. And I was just like, okay, I like it.
I loved it. This was a lot of fun to just see. I'm hoping the world for this tournament, but again, why is it on YouTube and not Dynamite?
And again, it's pre-filmed. So if there's botches, why don't you just refilm and give us the best content you can imaginably give us?
And also, the ginger twink in the front row. If you want my phone number, hit me up.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, let's go ahead and move on quickly and talk about AEW Dark, because this week it was Abaddon going one-on-one with Kylan King in a match
that our favorites from AEW.
I know, two of our favorites that I wish are on TV every week, because this match was really fun despite how short it was. Kylan King got vicious in this match, like driving Abaddon into the steel post.
I couldn't wait to review this match. I was like, oh my God, Kylan King, are you officially signed yet, because when you came out, you had the attitude. When you drove Abaddon into the corner, you were like, bruh. You even like talked at the camera, jibber jabber at the camera for us. And then when Abaddon came out of the corner and gave us, like, you actually were not like, oh, I'm so big, I shouldn't be taken down by Abaddon. You were like you gave us visuals and facials and so much character for every part of the match. Like, this is wrestling.
Legit, this was fun. I love the character work between both of them. We saw Abaddon pick up the win with that lovely spike Rana that she does. Again, this was so much better than everything that was on Dynamite this week. Give us this on the main show. Expose your fans to good women's wrestling, please.
And you know what I will say? I am very happy because I know I speculated like Mel and Abaddon might go together, even though it's pull out, but maybe they were gonna like try to make two people who were heels and scary. I'm glad, because I said this last week, I'm glad they didn't make Abaddon a tag competitor. She's so good as a singles, but also Kylan King is so good as a singles. I mean, she was good as tag too, but like, she has so much personality. I don't think she needs anyone to compliment her. She's so good. And I will say AEW is failing the women's division in a lot of ways, but I will say I do appreciate how they put many stars that are more curvy on, because they concentrate less on like that six pack or whatever. You know me, I am down on myself about my body a lot, but like seeing like Abaddon, Danny Jordan, none of them are like large or anything, but like they're just curvy, and it makes me feel really good. And I'm at least glad that sort of representation is there, because it makes me feel like, because I have some matches coming up, like, oh heck, I could put on my spandex and feel comfortable because there's people on national television who are just as curvy as I am.
That's so sweet. That's amazing. Hey Moxie.
Hey Joey.
What is your boom blast moment of the week? My boom blast moment of the week is going to be Mercedes coming in and booting Rhea Ripley, because I went yes, like verbally yes when she did it, because that meant that I am getting Mercedes versus Rhea, and I am so excited for that match.
My boom blast is going to go to Reba for, as I said earlier, just coming out there like she's on The Price is Right with her little like white mom keds on, and just reigning like the Reba queen she is, and she just did so good. I just wish when she went to tag her, she would have gone $1 and then tagged her.
Done. Done. I can't even do the like back and forth because I'm laughing so much. Moxie, where can people find you?
You can find me across all social media platforms at that's THEE, Moxie Molly. And Joey, what about you?
You can find me at Joey_Mayberry across all social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and also my channel on here on YouTube is, I can't even talk, I'm still channeling $1. Also, please check out my channel here on YouTube. My show Tops and Bottoms comes out every Sunday. I can't stop.
Don't forget,
you got me.
Ring the Bell has our very own Patreon, our very own Teespring, and our very own channel.
Thank you guys for watching the AEW NXT review. And as always, remember, spay and neuter your pets.
Oh my God, I was going to say the same thing. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.